It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
Team Bigfoot in the house.
Oh, man. I hate to even talk about Team Bigfoot today.
I'd have loved to have that fish during the tournament, I tell you what.
I tell you what, we're going to talk about that tournament today, but Team Bigfoot.
Well, I wasn't disgraced.
You scared Todd Prater.
Well, they had me outgunned with all their technology, my technology, but I tell you, come next year, I'll have my technology tuned up.
So you saying the technology is what did it?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Well, Travis Hudson didn't have no technology.
Yes, he does.
He got the same thing you got.
He got 10 inch.
Yeah, and he got it lifted up.
I told you, no, this is enough. You got to have that 1080p.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about that. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast 169, Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of June the 3rd through June the 5th, 2022. I tell you what, boys, I just got through doing an interview with Captain Cole Coltis with Fatal Impact Bow Fishing Guide Service. And let me tell you what, 24 years old. And that kid is sharp. Now, I tell you, he's got a future in the outdoors. And I want to get him to come down here. And I had encounters with Gar Sunday when I went. Did you, Joe Allen? It's too many of them out there. It's too many of them out there. Todd, I was just telling Joe Allen, you had him scared. He had you scared Saturday because he was in such an old foul mood. Let me put this picture up, Todd. This is
the agony of defeat.
That's right here. Down goes Team Bigfoot. That was the only picture I could get of him.
Yeah.
Well, Todd should have been there about 7:30 after I done had a couple of cocktails. I was feeling better, Todd.
Well, I will have to say though, Todd, this was the next day, and look at that. You can see a smile on his face the next day.
I can still catch a fish.
Yeah, you did good. You
That's
did
fishing.
good.
You don't catch them every time you go.
No.
Out.
All
I
right.
talked to Scott. Scott said that it was not an easy bite.
No,
It was not an
well,
easy
Brandon
bite.
Threadgill and Scott Mitchell and all those professional guys said that.
Yeah, Scott said it was not an easy bite. He told me.
Well, you had falling water and high
Pressure.
bluebird day.
Yeah, and the water was. I didn't think it was going to fall like it did that day.
It fell.
Yeah, it really did. All right, let's see what we got to go over. Let's go over the events coming up this weekend. I hadn't got really much. Tomorrow afternoon, there will be a Bridgeport City Landing Fruit Jar open tomorrow from 3 to dark, $15 per angler, $5 a boat for the big fish. Harry Pardon and Ken Clayton are in charge. You show up at the landing. You going to fish it, Kevin?
Yeah, I think me and Tristan go fish.
And that is Thursday. And then Saturday, I want everybody to fish this that can. It's the Share the Gospel Ray Covington Memorial Tournament at Runaway Landing in Demopolis. $125 a boat. Reverend Howard Gaston puts on a great tournament, 251-232-1940. And if you can fish that, we all like to remember Ray Covington. And you going to fish it, Kevin?
No, I got to go. We got rodeo.
What about that big tournament they had? Didn't L&L Marine have a $25,000?
Yeah, King of the River. And there was you fished on Saturday, and the top 15 got a gold ticket that put them in for Monday. And Chase Schroeder was in first place on the Saturday, and I read his post and said that Demopolis was fishing the best it's fished in 20 years.
I think my buddy was Scouted Oak Taxidermist won that thing. I think he did.
It was a Cochran, Seals and Cochran.
Yeah,
they won.
Adam Cochran.
That's right. And then there was a Miller Dowling and a Dotson he fishes for Malavala fishing team.
Yeah,
they was
University
in third. Clay Corndy owns True Bass. I think they come in 12th. I'm trying to think. Studevant.
Nelson Studevant.
And Roger Etheridge. I think it's Roger Etheridge guy from Linden. They come in second. It was the Demopolis boys showed out. Because most of this trail is out of Tuscaloosa, but the Demopolis boys showed out.
All right, next Wednesday at Selma City Marina, they'll have their fruit jar from the Selma City Marina. Corey Ingrams is in charge of that. 334-412-946. And old Todd Prater will be covering it, I'm sure, for the Selma Sun. He'll get us the information. And then Saturday the 18th, the Bridgeport Summer Team Trail will be kicking off from the Bridgeport City Landing. And she is recognizing Mike Norwood by leaving the #1 boat blank this year. So, and don't forget the Community Neighbor Bank Big Fish Bounty, $250 every tournament for the biggest fish, sponsored by the Community Neighbor Bank. So,
and the guys, people that's pre-registered and signed up, that she's doing T-shirts.
Okay.
Because they called me about the sizes the other day.
Okay, yeah, I saw where the Community Neighbor Bank was giving T-shirts out to the first so many. Hey, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
I thought Denise was coming over here with you today.
Yeah, that's what she told me, but she ended up got into TV, I guess. She was enjoying her off day.
Alabama Bass, Alabama Catfish Series has got a tournament out of Cliffs Landing at Tensaw A coordinate. I saw that, Brian. Are you gonna fish it? I reckon you are. All right, Wayne wants to know, be honest, where did you finish, Joe? Well, I think it was 43 anglers. And out of the 43 anglers, we had 3 times 6 is 18, 19 weigh-ins. I think it was 40-something fish weighed in. And if after he finished dead last, Wayne.
Yeah,
that's what he didn't weigh nothing in.
Out of the zeros, it was about half the field zero.
Well, I either go for the win or nothing at all.
All right.
Now I had fish, but all of them was about a pound.
But you had Donna with you too. I figured Donna would catch a big fish.
Well, that's the reason she stayed out there in the boat. She was mad at me because I didn't weigh nothing in. I said, I ain't got a 2-pound fish. You know, I was wanting the big one. I was going for the gusto.
And you had your fan club there, Mr. Bud, his son Wesley, and his sister Eleanor drove all the way up here, stayed there all day long.
And I done told Mr. Bud, don't give up. Be there for the catfish. I got plans for that one.
All right, that's 23rd of July.
And I'm making plans for the next crappie one.
Well,
more electronics and
I had to work. That's pretty nice. There.
All right, let's go over some business before we're gonna talk a lot more about the Roland Cooper State Park tournament when we get to the fishing report. But let's see, I called the Miller's Ferry Powerhouse, and they are running tomorrow at Miller's Ferry from midnight to 6 a.m. 3 units, from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. 0 units, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. 3 units, and from 8 p.m. to midnight no units. At Jones Bluff, from midnight to 6 a.m. 3 units, from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. no units, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. 3 units, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. 2 units. I've been getting a lot of pictures from below the dam from Claiborne Lake. They done sucked the bottom out of it down there. Mm-hmm. So the river temperatures at 2 o'clock this afternoon was 84 degrees, and the sloughs were 88. So that river and water is fixing to, you'll be in the 90s this time next week.
Well, it's when they cut it off and it sits all day long, it gets hot. You know, it goes to boiling.
Big deal tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Kevin's pointing from 2 till 8 tomorrow afternoon.
3 units.
3 units running. That's going that jack and the IP shutdowns over. It ought to be a good turnout tomorrow afternoon.
It's gonna get some fish.
Joel, you might have to ride down there to the weekend.
I tell you what, we ought to fish in it.
Nah, I can't fish in it, but
I tell you what,
I don't know nothing about no bass.
I'll tell you. Well, I ain't gonna get into that, but them crappie tops where we know we're at, all of them, I guarantee you could run a small spinnerbait down over the top of, and they don't tell them what you'll catch.
Look at here now. Now you talk about a dedicated fan. Bud, look at him, Kevin. Bud said he's about Team Bigfoot, just like he is in University of Alabama football. Even in defeat, I will support the team.
Joel, he needs some support. He needs some support.
Wow.
I tell you what, if the next night I win the trophy, I'm gonna give it to
you're gonna give it to Bud.
Mr. Bud. So I'm going after the trophy.
All right, let's go over a little business. The Gator tag registration starts June the 6th. What day is that? That's next Monday at 8 o'clock. It goes to July the 13th. Register for your tag in the Alabama Gator season.
Did I see if they did get some tags at Coffville?
No, I put on there. I wish they would open up about a 25 to 50 tag.
That's some studs over
north of Toffee.
But it ain't gonna happen.
Me and Kevin seen them 20 years ago over there.
Studs over.
Well, I was told 6 years ago that they were studying it to open up a zone now, but I ain't.
Well, they should.
I guess the study.
That's about like the fish study at Miller's Ferry.
And I did want to mention, Kevin, I talked to you about this before the show. In Tennessee, they had a high school bass combine, just like a college pro football combine. And they raised $2.56 million for college high school fishing scholarships. That is strong, boys. That is strong.
There's 2 really strong fishing schools in Tennessee. And that's a tribute to the schools that put the time into this and their conservation department that maintains their lakes at the tip-top shape all the time.
I tell you, that high school fishing and that collegiate fishing is I said it couldn't grow no more than it was a couple of years ago, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And BASS is involved, Major League Fishing's involved, all of them, all the professional ranks are involved. It's just unbelievable. And $2.6 million in scholarship.
Well, it's getting to the point they're going to have to start recognizing all these high schools.
Yes, sir.
And quit pumping everything into football and put some into that.
Bass fishing. Well, look at the University of Montevallo. They, for the second year in a row, they were named the best collegiate bass fishing team in the nation.
That's right.
In the nation, right
That's
up there
right.
at the University of Montevallo.
That's
So
right.
Alabama is bass fishing is big time in Alabama. I guarantee you, and it contributes big time.
Well, you got if you look at the top 100 Bassmasters and you take the top 100 of the Major League Fishing, they're a diverse people from all over the country, but they all live in North Alabama and East Tennessee. They all have moved here for the fishing.
That's right. That's right.
But it's mostly the Tennessee River. And Alabama is missing the boat right here. Now we can make some improvements.
Well,
to draw that
from Monroeville South and from Montgomery North, the high schools have plenty of fishing teams. We had a tournament here in November of 21. The Alabama Bass Federation had 170 teams, and the high school teams were just like the weigh-in was just like a football game, man. It was
tailgating, all right.
Yeah,
that's right. But to keep them coming, we got to be sure that the fish are there.
That's
and,
right.
And the facilities, we're getting the facilities there.
The facilities are there. We are only as good as our fisheries.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. If we don't have we don't maintain the lakes and the fertility of our lakes, we're not going to be able to continue to draw the people to come.
All right. Josh Prim, tournament director for the Roland Cooper State Park Big Crappie Day, said, I love that the younger generation is getting into fishing tournaments in high school. You look at Faith, who won the biggest fish there in the crappie tournament this past weekend. You're exactly right. We had 6 youth fishermen, but every one of them were competitors. Saturday. It really was. We're going to go over them here in a minute, and I will mention every one of them. All right, so that's all I got. I did get they are pounding the podium and shaking the cage down at Mount Vernon. They got a landing that needs some bad work down there. So if anybody knows any politicians down, is that Mount Vernon in Washington? Yes, in Washington.
That's in Washington.
Yeah. So if any of y'all know any of the that old Jason, and I know how to pronounce his name now. Domain. Jason Domain.
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 I knew 2 now.
Yeah. I didn't know. He gave me some 132nd hand tied jig. I tried them out Sunday, Jason, but I got to get used to that light jig.
That's a shooting dog jig there now.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Donna said them fish under the dogs now.
Yeah.
Well, that Jason them they had a stack full of chicks.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of people had a stack.
Yeah, he had his wife and his son. Those hold up. They had about 6 of them.
All right, let's go to the fishing report for this weekend. Last weekend, let's go over to catfish. Lonnie Ray, that water rolls up. Where was Lonnie Ray?
Catching fish.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
He camped out on, spent all night there.
Yeah.
His video partners, they wasn't too happy when he come up in the tent.
And Joe Allen, you and Donna took the grandchildren, what was that, Sunday or Monday? And y'all had some good luck jugging.
Well, the water, it was changing then.
Yeah.
And we did good.
And had a good picture. The picture made to go outside BAS page, goes out naturally.
If I'd have knew that, I'd have got in the picture.
No, you the right ones got in the picture. The ones that caught the fish, they got in the picture. Big Bama Brian, I ain't hearing too much from Big Bama Brian. He's laying low, I tell you.
He caught
heavy. I look for announcement any day now.
Yeah.
And we got the first. I got an envelope the other day, and I said, who is this? I ain't got no idea. And I opened it up. It was a check in there for $70. And I didn't say, what the heck? And it was the first entry for the Jugging 2 contest, July the 23rd. So they already sending the money in.
Send the money in.
Yeah. So we're going to have a good one. All right, so catfishing this weekend, the world has changed. They sucked the bottom of it. What we're going to do, Joe Allen?
Long line.
Long line jugging.
You still fish all the flats that got currents in it, but it's time to go to the river now. Last week, when the river was high and it was whipping like crazy, had some friends went out and they told me, said, where'd y'all? I asked them, I said, where'd y'all go? We went to the river, put out a long line. I said, how many did you catch? None. And that's when I went jugging the next day. I said, okay, that tells me what to do.
They moved up in those
Yeah,
shots.
I went to the flats and we did real good,
But they out of them flats now.
No, yeah, they going back to the river now. The water's going, I mean.
You still probably late in the evening still catch some on the, out there in 10 foot of water on the flats got current on it. But the main thing, whoever's got the bait.
Well,
bait is the deal.
Well, and two, the thing, even with the long line, find out when they're cutting the water on, when they're cutting it off, and that's when you want your jugs out there moving through there, because it's fixed to come in play for all the guys that drag, when the water's off, they know where to drag at.
Joshua says they trot lining out at Roland Cooper State Park, pulling in 40-pound catfish. I ain't even thought about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I need. I need Stacy to come go with me, show me how to use them electronics, getting ready for the next jugging tournament. That's what I'm gonna do.
Electronics. You hung up on them electronics now.
Well,
you were doing some pretty good fishing, catfishing, crappie fishing, and bass fishing before you ever had any electronics.
I know, but I want them big fish like Stacy catches during the tournament.
You need to be going with Jason Ledbetter then. I can tell you, that's the one catching them big military fish.
Yeah, he reached down there with his hand, grabs them, though. I can't do that.
Jason don't. His daughter does.
Yeah.
He drives. He's like me. He's the banker and the bus driver.
All right, that is the catfishing report. All right, let's get into the crappie report. I do want to thank everybody that fished in the Roland Cooper State Park Big Crappie Day. I'm going to tell y'all, I was a little apprehensive because we had a management change in the middle of the stream. Laura sold the tournament, and I did not know. I went down there Wednesday, and I had to. I really thought my best place was at the weigh-in, and I'm glad I went because now I'm confident that they can do it without me. But we had a great time. Everybody did a great job. Miss Cliff and Miss June Hamlin, the managers of Roland Cooper State Park, did a great job. Josh did a great job as tournament director, and Will and Bonnie.
Heard lots of people giving praise to how good it went.
Yeah, it really did go good, and we had some of the competition was fierce. It really was. We had, I know, 5 or 6 professional anglers there, and they had all their family. Them pros, they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to leave, weigh in, but they had their wives and children with them, and they were all competing against. It was just a great time. And I'm going to go over all the winners. At 9 o'clock, Wilcox Farm and Hunting Supply winners. First place was Rebecca Domain, 1.66. Second place, John Herron Jr. with a 1.57. And third place, Kelly Mitchell, that's Scott's wife, 1.54. 10 o'clock, CT Ward Power Sport winners. First place was Jason Threadgill with a 1.98, and that won the whole day. Second place was John Harrod Jr. with a 0.95 and John Harrod Sr. with a 0.91. 11 o'clock at the Dunn Sports weigh-in. First place was Brandon Threadgill with 1.77. Second place was Jennifer Threadgill with a 1.44. Those are the only 2 fish weighed in at 11 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, McDonald's Grocery and Sports winners. First place was Landon Mitchell, 1.55. That was one of the youth fishermen. Second place was Kelly Mitchell, his mama, 1.52. And third place was Faith Hudson with a 1.37. 1 o'clock, McGraw-Webb Chevrolet winners. Levi Blunt. Now, that little old boy had him a good time. He had him a good time. He's one of the youth. He had a 1.53. Brandon Threadgill had a 1.33. And Landon Mitchell had a 1.30. At the 2 o'clock Coast to Coast True Value in downtown Camden, Faith brought in her 167, and they were going back and forth, Faith and Landon, and who was going to win the youth all day long. Second place, Levi, again, with a 154. Third place, Chris Blunt with a 116. And that was all your hourly winners. And, of course, the $500 Community Neighbor Bank Big Fish winner, Jason Threadgill, with a 1.98-pound crappie. The check was presented by Community Neighbor Bank Representative Nicole Baggett, and the $250 Town Country United Bank Youth Big Fish winner, Miss Faith Hudson, with a 1.67-pound crappie, and her check was presented by Wilcox Area Chamber of Commerce Director Michael Cook. And it was just a great day, a great turnout, and they talking about maybe doing one in the fall, but I know they're going to do another one next spring.
Well,
but it was a great turnout, a great event, and I really do. Todd Prater, I can't say enough about him. He was there all day. He's got write-ups in the Marion paper, the Selma paper, and I think it's going to be in the Camden paper too.
That'll help. That'll draw more and more people.
Yeah, and Todd does a great job. But he was worried about you.
Jason's like me. The fall, it'd be on in the fall. It'd be some pigs waiting in.
All right, let's see. All right, let's see what else I got on the crappie. Oh, Shane, he went to Pickinsville Sunday. Shane Jones crappie fishing, and William Malone and Andrew fished the tournament Saturday. They didn't weigh a fish in, but I saw a picture Sunday where he took his daddy out there, and Billy Malone was holding up 2 hogs. So I don't know. I got to hear the story on that. But
and I ain't letting Shane off the hook either. I still want him to cook my crappie tacos.
Fish taco.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said he would, but that is your 1.98-pound winner, and the 1.67-pound Town Country winner and Community Neighbor Bank.
That's a big check.
Yep, that is a big check.
Well, enjoy it.
Yeah,
because I'm coming after you next year.
And that is that is Josh with Nicole giving him that big check, and that is Miss June and Mr. Cliff, and that is Miss Faith. She didn't want to touch them fish, but she didn't have no trouble grabbing that big check right there. But it was a great turnout, and thanks everybody again for all the sponsors, all the anglers, and of course the Roland Cooper State Park. All right, that is all I got on the crappie. Anything else? What we're going to do if you're going crappie fishing? What we're going to do this weekend, Joe Allen? It's changed now.
Yeah.
Y'all had a bad day.
Yeah.
Y'all had a bad day Saturday. Everybody said it was a slow bite. Sunday was a little better.
Well,
Monday was even better.
Yeah. The water's back down now and stable. Where they got it on or off. If you want, when they don't have it running, I like to go in them, sloughs with the deeper water in it, hit those brush piles. Today, me and Donald was sitting there, you could see them all up on it. All up on it. We was running jigs and minnows. She did good on minnows early. Then she got about run out of minnows. And I said, you're going to have to grab a jig up now. And she caught 2 or 3 on jig. Slow rolling it right through you. We went to your favorite hole, the what do we call it? The willow and the sycamore.
Yeah.
And we slow roll them jigs through there, and wham, they hit it. And they was just slow,
Yeah.
But we had to change heads to weedless heads. Because we lost too many of them Reuben floors.
Oh, yeah.
And we went to weedless heads, and I said, when you feel the top, just ease it through it and bump through it, and all of a sudden they'll nail it. And that's what they was doing.
So they on them treetops, 10, 12 foot of water.
Now, if they're pulling water, we hadn't done it yet, but I'm pretty sure you find those places in the river where they're coming through those cuts just right, because we've always done it. It's time for that too. Mm-hmm. If they're pulling water, bottom out some minnow through there. We like to use live bait when we do that, and you can catch all. you might catch crappie, bass, catfish, drum, brim, anything this time of year out there doing that too. So that's the two ways I fish right now.
All right, there you go. All right, bass fishing. Let's talk about bass fishing. They had a fruit jaw Monday. Landon Christian won with 17 pounds. Trey and Leon Wade had 13.6 for second. Lane Jones sent me some pictures of two hogs he caught. I expect he's up in Pine Barren Creek. We mentioned the University of Montevallo fishing team is the best in the nation for the second year in a row. Kevin, you gonna fish tomorrow? You're excited about them moving that water. If you coming fishing this weekend on Lake Miller's Ferry, bass fishing, what you need to do. And if you're fishing in the Ray Covington Memorial Tournament in Demopolis, what you need to do to win it.
Well, it's probably two catastrophically different things, I would think. But Miller Ferry, you fish, your cuts, your undercut banks, your ledges, creek mouths, all that stuff. Where the current's going to position them fish ready to feed. It's going to be, anywhere from a big crankbait to a swim jig to a shaky head, and punching bait, and I think that probably if the water's getting as warm as y'all say it is, top water bait's going to play in there too that afternoon. Buzz bait, frog, hard popper. It's the top water bait's going to play in too late in the afternoon. You find a few shadows, and especially if you see the bait, that I saw a lot of bait on a video the other day.
Shad everywhere.
Yeah, out in the river. So you want to be around the bait.
Well, it's going to be a good weekend. I think it's going to be a pretty weekend. Everything is transitioning to that summer pattern now. It's moving from postponed to summer.
Demopolis. If I was going to Demopolis, and this is just from years of going over, that the grass beds, we don't have the grass beds in the river like they do. The grass beds is near the mouth of the river where you have your bank grass, your gator grass, that they either going to be in it, on the edge of it, or 4 foot from it. It depends on what the water's doing. That I've gotten burned a couple times because I was not smart enough to back up and throw at the edge of the grass and catch them out there 10 foot from it. But that's going to be a real strong pattern this weekend.
And let me tell you what Shane Jones told me the other day. We're going back to crappie fishing. And I swear I saw this. He said he caught some in less than a foot of the water up on the bank eating willow fly, mayfly.
Demopolis, the crappie in Demopolis over, Coach Doggett and them was over there one day, and I was bass fishing. It was the 4th of July weekend. They was fishing 10 inches deep with a cork and a minnow in the grass bed, and they was catching daggone nice crappie. And fish over there act different than ours.
But anyway, bass fishing, it ought to be wide open. I really am excited to see what happens tomorrow evening in that fruit.
I like the fact that we're going to have some water moving. I'm sure the pressure is going to be high, but that I think that at some point in the afternoon, the fish are going to feed.
Yeah,
it's going to be a little timing issue, being lucky and be at the right spot at the right time. It always is. But with the water moving, at some point they're going to feed.
Yeah. All right, now, Joe Allen, I did this just for you. This is just for you now because I know how much hell you caught from Shannon and Todd.
Yeah,
and I mean pure hell.
Yeah,
and I listened to it. I saw the group text that they was giving you, but not one of them ever mentioned this picture I'm fixing to put up right here of that 10-pound bass that Miss Lisa caught.
Well, that just goes to prove what kind of fishermen Shannon and Todd are.
Whoa, they're getting kind of heavy there, ain't you?
They just can't compete,
Well, look at that smile. Now, I'm going to tell you what, that right there is a nice fish.
Now, which I understand, you got to let your wife, you put her in the best spots. I try to do the same with Donna, but when all they could do was reach in a live well and take my fish out and put the hook in the mouth and drop it and then claimed they was catching a fish behind me in the boat. When we got through, I said, we ought to have about 10 or 12 in there, don't we? And I looked in there, wasn't but about 4 or 5.
Now, wait a minute. You saying they took your fish out of the live
out of the
well,
live well and hooked it and then put it out and act like they caught it.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna have to have some confirmation on that particular thing.
I see now, from now on, I can't give them a jig. I mean, Donna does good with a jig. I got to give them a cork and minnow. So from now on, they just cork minnow guys.
All right. Well, the ponds are on fire. Bibb County Lakes catching some big 7 and 8 pound bass. The Alabama Black Belt Adventures have got their best photo contest, and if you send it in, you can win a free crappie guided trip on Eufaula and 2 nights over there at that Lake Point Resort, which is very, very nice. I got all that information on my website. The brim are still biting. I think I saw a while ago where Wayne Edgeworth caught a bunch of them in a pond. But the pond is wide open. Snapper season's open. You hear anybody catching snapper?
They done real good this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That buddy of mine, they went 75 miles or so out the first day, but they went after swordfish. They got 2 of them. Then
big
ones
too.
I mean,
that was
nice
pretty. That was pretty.
But now, Aaron Wells ain't the average ordinary guy going out there. They are gung ho after it. So they hit them bunch of grouper and then got some snapper on the way in. And then he told me he didn't have any pictures up, but they went out the next day, carried his wife and some other friends, and went to some stuff like 10 miles in, got a limit of big fish and come on back in.
Well, I want to talk about this. I don't want to get into details. They had a terrible boating accident over in Georgia this weekend. I think 5 fatalities. 2 boats running wide open, hit head on. I think it was some alcohol involved, but I'm telling you, y'all heard me say it, and everybody gets mad. Everybody cusses. I think it's time to start a conversation about a speed limit on that river. I really do. I don't know any reason to run 70 miles an hour up and down that river. I don't.
No.
And I think the first tournament director that breaks the ice and puts a speed limit on a bass tournament is Kevin. You don't agree with me on this. You think it's going to keep people from fishing, but I think it's a safety issue and it needs to be addressed. I sat on Joe Allen's porch Saturday afternoon, was it, Joe? No, Sunday afternoon, and I'm gonna tell you, it is some fast boats going up and down that river, and it's some slow pontoon boats full of folks. It's just a lot of traffic on a holiday weekend like this, and I just tell you, I hate to hear anytime you hear about a boating tragedy like that.
Well, you got so many pleasure boaters.
Yeah.
That's not running but 35 miles an hour or so around the curve and got kids in the water, And
when you're running 70 miles an hour, it ain't no brakes on them boats.
No.
It ain't no brakes on. Now, if you're during the week, it's not many people on the water. That's another issue. But the game wardens stopped by me. I know that they were out there this weekend, but I mean they can't be everywhere. They can't be everywhere, and that goes back to the anglers and the boaters' responsibility. Safety, safety, courtesy, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Joe Allen done sports. Bubba is working double time. I ain't seen you leave Camden in a week.
Well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm promoting. I do the promoting, and Bubba, he stays there from daylight to dark, and he counts all the money and puts it in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's he's happy with it, and I don't want nobody mess with Bubba.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bubba's doing a great job, I can tell you that. And you got a full inventory over there. I hadn't done anything with all those pictures, but I'm going to. You have got probably, I would say you got the best supply of hair jigs and hand-tied jigs, B&B jigs, Reuben Floor jigs, all kind of jigs at Dunn Sports.
Well, we got the best selection of plastics, spinner baits, hard baits. We may not have the same spread as say Bass Pro, but we got all the name brand stuff, no doubt.
Yeah,
and we got name brand stuff that Bass Pro don't have. It's in there, whatever you need.
Well, in the summertime, you got those AFCO shorts. You got all the summer clothing, the name brand T-shirt. You got Team Bigfoot.
Yeah,
t-shirt.
we got Team Bigfoot. I bet you won't find that in Bass Pro, will you?
Are they on sale, or you buy a premium T-shirt, you get a Bigfoot T-shirt free?
Well, no, I got to talk to Bub about that. We may have to change it up, but well, I put it this way: if you go get one now, because by next year probably the price will go up once Team Bigfoot is on top.
Yeah,
the price got to go up.
Yeah.
When Team Bigfoot gets on top, all the T-shirts gonna be given away.
Yeah, well.
All right, that's all I got. Anything else? We done run a little over today, but I'm sure appreciate we had a good crowd on here today. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we
Well, I wish we had time to tell about the wall story today, but we may save
Scott
that
just
for
stopped
another
and just
time.
bought some. He must have went by the store.
Yeah, he went by and got him some of them Reuben floor jigs.
Yeah.
Alden sent me a picture this weekend. They was down at the Gulf, and they went in a restaurant somewhere. He said, Dunn Sports is everywhere. Had a picture of a guy with a Dunn Sports shirt on in there.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we got a minute. I want to hear about that wall story. I do want to hear about that. Let's tell it right quick.
Well, we went out there. My Martins didn't come in. We was wondering what was wrong with them. So, me being a smart guy, I went out there.
And it took you 5 years to get to Martins there. Anyway.
I know. I went out there and I shook the pole, looking up. I said, maybe they inside. I'm gonna scare them out. And I shook the pole, and about looked like. Well, Donna said it wasn't but 30, and I think it was 50 or 60 walls come boiling out.
Look like F-16.
And yeah, well, then I got mad when they come out. Now, I went back. I said, I'm going to pull this pole down and kill them, get them out of that house. So I pulled the pole out and laid it down. And I went and did that. I ought not done that. That's when I know there was 60 of them chasing me through the yard. Donna's sitting on the porch drinking a coffee and laughing the whole time.
Should have been videoing it.
I was beaten, washed off my head. Had 3 or 4 on my leg. Done bit me one on my arm. And I hollered for her. She said, what am I going to do? I said, get the broom, beat them off of me. And
broke the broom on
broke the broom. Then after that, I said, go in that house, get some vanilla flavor, and let me doctor all my spots up they'd eat me up on. And I said, now, if Kevin or Todd or Shannon had been sitting here watching this, they would be janking me then.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I wish I'd had a camera on that. We do have a camera on what we think is a prothonotary warbler nest at Joe Allen's house. We'll pull the card and see. We hadn't made a positive ID on it, but I'm pretty sure by what y'all telling me in yellows it is, that's what it is. And you see a lot of them up and down the river, but you don't see many nests. I don't see many prothonotary warbler nests. So you better look out. Johnny Officer's going to be camping out at your house.
All right.
All right, that's all I got, guys. Anything else, Kevin? Ain't no rodeo report, I don't guess.
Well, we got high school finals this weekend, and they have it's a big deal. They recognize the seniors, have awards night. I think Brody may get an award. So I'm gonna be in Andalusia Friday, Saturday night probably.
And Brody graduated Friday night.
Graduated.
So he is officially now. He'll be officially a collegiate rodeo.
That's right. He's
looking forward to following him. I hope he don't get hurt again.
Yeah, I will. We hand looking better. Got a new cast, and so hopefully by maybe middle of next week we'll get it off.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck tomorrow if you're fishing in the fruit jar tournament, and good luck Saturday if you're fishing in the Ray Covington Memorial Tournament in Demopolis. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel on the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. See you next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.